Hello guys, what's going on? My name is Sam, or Chaotic, and welcome back to another GTA 5 video here on my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the only two tanks that we have in game, those being the Rhino tank and the TM-02 Khanjali. Over the past few days, I've seen quite a few comments and received quite a few requests for this video. They have been heard, so let's get straight into things. So these two tanks then, like I said, are the only two available in-game. As for the Rhino tank, it's been in the game for over 4 years. In fact, it was available in the base game when it was first released back in September of 2013. And as for the TM-02 Khanjali, it is the first DLC tank we've ever received in GTA Online. Of course, it was only released a few days ago in the Doomsday Heist update. Now you can purchase both of these from the Warstock Cash and Carry website. The TM-02 has a trade price of $2,895,000, which you'll have to unlock. If you haven't done so, it can be bought for a buy it now price of $3,850,350. The Rhino is a lot cheaper. If you scroll down towards the bottom of the Warstock Cash and Carry website, you'll find it listed for $1,500,000, and that's the buy it now price. There is no trade price because this tank was released in the base game and trade prices are a more recent feature. Now when GTA 5 was first released, and for about 2 years or so, you had to be level 100 in online to be able to afford this tank. That level system though has been removed. You can be level 1 and buy this straight away, and the same applies of course to the TM-02 Khanjali. Now although straight away the TM-02 Khanjali is a lot more expensive than the Rhino, in fact at its buy it now price it is more than double, and even at its trade price it's only just under double the price of the Rhino. It's worth bearing in mind, like I said, the Rhino was available in the base game and prices from the original game were a lot less than DLC prices. Over the years, average vehicle prices in updates and DLCs have continued to increase, so it's worth bearing that in mind with the Khanjali. But thankfully the Khanjali isn't just a new tank at a more expensive price, it does come with a lot more features than what you get with the Rhino. For starters, the Khanjali can fire more rounds per minute than the Rhino. I didn't time or record the difference, but it's definitely faster with the Khanjali. Something else also worth noting with the Khanjali, its pushing power is insane. Just ramming into vehicles, it will just shunt them out of the way without losing any speed whatsoever. But as impressive as this might be, the Rhino one-ups this. So it can also ram into vehicles and shunt them in the way without losing any speed. But down to the way the Rhino is designed, it can also track over vehicles as well, and it blows them up pretty much instantly. So if you're looking to cause chaos just by driving around, the Rhino is definitely the better choice to make. But do bear in mind, by tracking over these cars and blowing them up, it does affect the amount of health the Rhino has. In fact, after a few explosions, you'll start smoking, eventually set on fire, and blow up yourself. And that's just by driving over cars. So although at first, for short amount of time, this can be a much more useful feature, unfortunately it doesn't take long to blow the Rhino up. One of the main issues though with the Rhino is that it's not a personal vehicle, it cannot be stored in your garage, whereas the new tank, the TM-02 Khanjali, can be stored in the new facilities. It's classified as a personal vehicle, but if you want to own one of these tanks, you have to own a facility. Unfortunately, you can't buy one otherwise, it can't be stored in your regular garages, so that means you have to be a fairly wealthy and established player in-game if you want to buy one of these. But if you already are, this won't be a problem for you, and I think we can all agree it's certainly much better to have the tank as a personal vehicle and be able to store it in our facilities than have it as a Pegasus vehicle like the Rhino. And the Rhino tank, as I'm sure you guys know, is just a one-seater vehicle, so only one person can sit in it, and players can't stand on it or around it and move around, they'll just fall off. And as for its weapons, well, it only has one, that being the main tank cannon. Even though it does have a machine gun turret on the top, this isn't operational. And this is where the Khanjali really does outdo the Rhino. So for starters, it has seating up to 4, with 2 seats in the front and 2 seats in the back, which I'll show off in a few moments. And it also has up to 4 weapons as well once upgraded. Again, we'll talk about that in a few moments. But from standard, it comes with 2. Of course, the main cannon is operated by the driver, and the secondary weapon, which is the machine gun turret on the top, that is operated by the passenger who sits in the front alongside the driver. Then there are 2 seats in the back of the tank. This is kind of cool, so 2 people can sit in the back of there, and if you have the tank upgraded with the secondary grenade launchers, they can then operate one of those each. And these are just like regular grenades, so they are quite powerful and of course will blow up vehicles, and they also have a decent range too. You can certainly fire these a good 100 if not 200 meters, and depending on how far away you shoot them is the amount of time it will take for them to explode. So if you fire them pretty close to you, they'll explode after a second or two, but if you fire them into the distance, they can last upwards of maybe 7 or 8 seconds. So like I said, once fully upgraded with this tank, all 4 passengers have access to weapons, which we'll talk about a little more later on. But first, as for the explosive resistance test, we're going to start things off with a standard Khanjali. So this is a freshly bought one without any upgrades whatsoever, and it takes just 3 sticky bombs to fully destroy this tank. So it's certainly not the most resistant or armored vehicles in game. In fact, things like the Insurgent Custom, when someone's sitting in it, can take upwards of 8 or 9. But as for the Rhino, now of course this isn't upgradable, but from standard it takes just 3 sticky bombs as well, the same as the Khanjali, to fully destroy this vehicle. Now fun fact, a few updates ago, Rockstar actually nerfed the tank. It used to be a lot stronger and would withstand a lot more sticky bombs, but Rockstar have reduced the amount of armor and health this has, so it takes just 3 to blow it up. But like I said, the Khanjali is customizable, and once fully upgraded and you fit max armor to it, it will actually take double the amount of sticky bombs from standard. So instead of 3, it will now take 6 to destroy it. So it is definitely recommended then to fully upgrade the Khanjali and fit max armor to it, so you can take the maximum amount of sticky bombs possible, that being 6. Now what about tank versus tank? I'm sure you guys want to know what happens when a tank goes up against another one. Well, the Khanjali from standard against the Rhino takes 4 shots from the cannon, so technically sticky bombs are more powerful than the tank on the Khanjali. But it's very much the same situation with the Rhino against the Khanjali. As you can see, my friend Zealdozer is shooting me in the Khanjali, and it takes 4 shots from the cannon to destroy it. But what about the Khanjali when it's fully upgraded? Well, just like with sticky bombs, it can take twice the amount of shots. So from standard, it's only 4, but when fully upgraded with the max amount of armor, it can take 8 shots from the Rhino. So I think it's safe to say, as long as you fully upgrade your Khanjali, in a Rhino tank versus Khanjali situation, you're going to win every time in the Khanjali. Now something else I'm sure you guys want to know the answer to, is the new cannon you can fit to this when customizing it, the Railgun cannon, any more powerful? The answer is no, there is no difference whatsoever. In fact, the Railgun cannon is the exact same as the standard cannon in the terms of power, and it takes 4 shots to destroy the Rhino. Now, although the 2 cannons on the Khanjali and the cannon on the Rhino are the exact same in the terms of their power, there is a small difference, this being the distance they can shoot. Now, although I didn't show this in the gameplay, there was no need to, but the standard cannon that's fitted to the Khanjali when you first buy it, and the cannon on the Rhino, fire the exact same distance. But there is a difference if you upgrade the cannon on the Khanjali to the Railgun cannon, but the difference is very minimal. So just firing regular shots with the Railgun cannon will actually go less distance than if you use the cannon on the Rhino. But if you charge the shots with the Railgun cannon, they will fire further. Now the difference between the standard and the charged shots is around about 10 or 15 meters, not a huge amount, and shots from the Rhino is in between that. So not really a huge difference then between those, and to be honest, after seeing this, the Railgun cannon is kind of a waste of money and not really worth fitting if you're going to upgrade it. Anyway, but to summarize, the Khanjali is more than double the price of the Rhino, and from standard has the same amount of armor. It takes just 3 sticky bombs to destroy it like the Rhino, or 4 shots from any tank. And again, the tank cannon is just as powerful as the Rhino, there is no difference between those, and even if you upgrade it to the Railgun cannon, again, it's identical to the standard one. The Khanjali can easily plow into vehicles whilst driving around on the road and shunt them out the way without losing any speed, but so can the Rhino. And the Rhino can also easily track over cars and it blows them up upon contact, whereas with the Khanjali, it's not so easy to do. But despite this, the Khanjali is definitely the better tank. For starters, there are 4 seats instead of just 1 in the Rhino. You can fit up to 4 weapons to this, so all 4 passengers have access to weapons. The Khanjali is a personal vehicle, whereas of course the Rhino is a Pegasus vehicle, which means you can call up your mechanic and have one of these delivered at any time you want, whereas if you want to use the Rhino, you have to call Pegasus and make your way to their nearest depot. And the Khanjali is customizable, so you can upgrade the weapons, you can fit more, you can change the paint job, you can fit a livery, and you can upgrade the armor, which means you can take double the amount of explosives and bullets, up to 6 sticky bombs or 8 shots from a tank. So there we go then, guys, that is the comparison between the Khanjali and the Rhino tank. Which one is better? The answer, of course, is the Khanjali. So there we go. With that being said then, guys, that's pretty much it then for this video. I of course want you guys to let me know your thoughts and feelings about this by leaving a comment on this video. If you guys could also drop a like as well, it would of course be greatly appreciated and it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure you do, because I upload all the latest and the greatest Grand Theft Auto 5 content. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.